teacher fee. It's hard to do. Did you do it already?
In 2009, President Barack Obama was quoted as saying, "Many have resisted the idea of awarding excellence with extra pay, even though we know it can make a difference in the classroom. Many would agree that the current pay structures for teachers are very outdated. However, I don't believe that merit pay is the best way to compensate teachers." There is a solution provided in Obama's Race to the Top initiative, which does include merit pay, and also they evaluate teachers based on standardized testing scores, which are not accurate forms of student or teacher accomplishment. I'm here today to discuss with all of you why merit pay is not the most reasonable option for compensation for teachers. As an education major and a prospective educator, I am very interested in education reform as it will likely affect me in the future. Today I will go over what exactly merit pay is, why it is not the best way to compensate teachers, and some possible solutions. First, I'll go over some of the definitions of merit pay. I'm going to go over a general definition and then one that regards to education. According to the United States Labor Department, merit pay is a raise in pay based on a set of criteria from the employer. This involves meeting with the employer to discuss performance and set goals. However, in the realm of education, there's a slightly different definition. According to the National Education Association, merit pay is rewarding teachers based on their standardized testing scores, which is also known as pay for performance. We have gone over what exactly merit pay is, and now we'll discuss the problems and flaws involved with merit pay. First of all, there are many factors which a teacher cannot control. These include divorce and separation, poverty, social and emotional issues, child abuse, tardiness and truancy, class size, and students with disabilities. Students with disabilities is actually a huge one, especially right now. Students with disabilities and special needs are being put directly in general education classrooms, which poses as a problem for teachers because they're required to still make adequate yearly progress even with these students in their class, which definitely makes it a lot more difficult to achieve the goal. Another huge issue with merit pay is the race to the top proposition. In 2009, they received $4.4 billion from a stimulus package, and in order for states to actually get this money, they have to start using merit pay in their school systems, and they also have to open more charter schools. And charter schools are publicly funded schools, but they do take money from regular public schools, and they usually have a lottery enrollment system, so not every child has the opportunity to go to a charter school. And these schools are supposed to have different teaching philosophies and different teaching methods, which are supposed to be more effective. However, that hasn't actually been proven yet. So merit pay encourages dishonesty, which is another big issue. A lot of teachers have been found actually changing and manipulating students' answers and scores just so they don't get penalized. Also, teachers are more likely to actually teach directly to the test in order to do better. And another big issue with this would be principal favoritism or even administration favoritism. And this basically goes to say that administrations and principals actually have the right to move children from classroom to classroom. So if a principal or administrator has favorite teachers, they're more likely to actually put the better performing students in those classrooms, which would mean that some teachers would have a leg up over other teachers. There was a Southern Los Angeles teacher named David Rapkin, who was actually quoted as saying, "It's a bad idea. It will give administration in the district the powers to play favorites using standardized tests rather than actually educating students," and that was David Rapkin. Merit pay will also likely destroy the necessary collaboration in the classroom. Teachers usually work together in order to make their lesson plans and teach the students as a whole, but if merit pay is enacted, then it provides a lot more competition, so teachers will be more likely to not help other teachers. According to ed.gov, No Child Left Behind was initiated in 2001 by President George W. Bush, and this basically requires that all states and all students have 100% proficiency in both reading and math by the year 2014, and each year the schools actually have to make adequate yearly progress, meaning that they have to do better than proficient on the tests, or they can face penalties such as closure or privatization. And actually in the 2008 and 2009 school year, 31,737 schools actually did not make adequate yearly progress, which is 34% or 1/3 of our nation's schools, which is really not good at all, especially considering the 2014 100% goal. And that's according to the Center of Education Policy. So now we've gone over what merit pay is and some of the issues of why merit pay should not be favorable, and now I'll go over some of the solutions. I first want to talk about Finland because Finland's very interesting. In 1970, Finland was actually at the bottom of the education system. They were dead last, and America was actually number 1. However, now Finland is actually number 1, and America's dragging far behind. A lot of people want to know what they're doing and why they're so successful, but they have very common collective students who actually want to be in their classrooms. They have very qualified and intellectual teachers, and these teachers actually get 3 years of education paid for by the state, and they're 100% qualified. It's very interesting in Finland. They have very little administration or principal interference, so the teachers don't have to really worry about constantly being watched or observed. They can just do their own thing and teach the students the way that they see fit. And their curriculum is very, very thought-provoked. They constantly are trying to make their students think, and they evaluate education as a whole. They don't just base it on standardized testing scores, as that's not really an accurate evaluation. And teachers have the tools and resources that they need in order to be successful. And like I said before, they do hire teachers, only teachers who are 100% qualified and went through the proper training. So in our US classrooms, we should probably definitely change some things. The teachers need materials and resources in order to teach effectively, and in the United States, teachers don't necessarily have all the resources that they need, so we should make those better available. And teachers should be able to be very hands-on and very direct, and they should be able to teach things other than math and reading. But with the merit pay and all the competition, standardized testing activities are the only things that are really worried about. And the administration in US public schools should definitely be a lot less involved, because teachers are constantly being watched and observed, so they're less likely to actually teach the way they normally do, which could be the most effective way. So we should probably hire better teachers, and we need a better hiring process. We need to hire teachers that have very good teaching structures and teachers that you can tell are going to be very effective in the classroom. And these teachers should be regularly evaluated, and they should not be evaluated on their test scores because they're not accurate. Frequent performance reviews should be done to make sure that the teachers are doing what they're supposed to be, and if the teacher is not doing as well as hoped, then counseling should be provided. So education reform is a huge topic today in the media and the news, and it is agreed upon that the pay structures for teachers are very outdated, and however, I do strongly disagree with merit pay because it's not an accurate way to compensate teachers. Today we have gone over what merit pay is, what's wrong with merit pay, and several solutions. It is my hope that you all have a better understanding and perhaps why merit pay is not the best way to compensate teachers. If you feel as strongly on this issue as I do, I urge you to talk to your representatives, get your voice out, and voice your opinions. It is obvious that the United States needs an education reform. However, merit pay does not seem like the best way to compensate teachers. As White House speechwriter David Pink once said, it doesn't work. Thank you.
Okay, I quit.